6 Happy Hour with John Radio.
My
This
name
hour
is-
is brought to you by
my name
Buster's
is-
Butcher at
my name
199
is-
South Highway, where every
Hi,
cut is
my
the
name
right
is-
cut. Now,
my
here's
name
your
is-
host, Johnny
my
Radio
name is-
himself, John Harden.
Hi, my name is. My name is. My name is.
Yo, 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 yo! Football day is here. Yeah, we had week 0, but baby, it's week 1. We got Thursday night football, wall-to-wall, crazy action. In fact, we got football all weekend long. It is a cornucopia of football. I am so damn fired up, man. It makes me think of like Wayne's World, party time, excellent. Get your Tito's, get your grub on, get your pens, your pads, and your papers, because we will be making bets. We are going to talk all things college football today. We also have today at 11:30, my buddy Isaac Simpson is going to join us. We're going to talk, guess what? Football. He talks a lot of Tigers. So we'll talk more Tiger football at 11:30 than any other time during the day. We will also get at 12 o'clock. Oh, I can't believe this is happening, man. She's okay. She survived. She's alive, and she's ready to kick the season off with the Ole Miss Rebels. That's right. Evie Van Pelt. TheRebelWalk.com. You know your number one source for all things Ole Miss sports information, don't you? That's the place you go. And right now, all the boys are back. They're ready to go on one hell of a run. Furman, you better watch out, because we're talking Ole Miss football with, my goodness, the founder, the publisher, the great, the wonderful, the sweet Evie Van Pelt at 12 o'clock. It's been so long since we've talked to her. She's had a worse summer than I have. And let me tell you something. To have a worse summer than I have, you've had to go basically through hell.
Yeah, the gold and silver of worst summers definitely go to Evie Gold and then silver you.
You know, I've had, I would say 90.
Well, maybe the astronauts get silver. I don't know.
You know what? That's the truth, man. Those suckers, man, they're going to miss the whole football
You get
season.
bronze.
And I heard that one of their urinals is out. This is disgusting.
geez.
Little sidebar real quick before we get to bets. I'm giving you an opportunity to grab your pen. But you know how like these astronauts being stuck in space is one of those things that it like pops up on my phone because it knows I'm
Sure.
fascinated.
Of course.
Because you know how
You're
mad
so
I'd be.
invested in it.
I would be so mad if I went on an 8-day trip. And I'm like, you know, like this is a work trip, by the way. This ain't like, hey, man, we're going to Hawaii. No, they went to the International Space Station. Do you know what they got up there? There ain't no theaters.
That's right.
There ain't no restaurants.
It's just space.
It's just like you looking down at all the people who are actually living and going, damn, I can't get back down there. So these suckers go for 8 days. They're stuck up there now because Boeing is pathetic. Starlink might not even get detached from the space station, by the way, till 2030 when they're planning on basically destroying the space station. So Boeing, I think they're about to back out this rocket game because they're terrible at it. Point is, so these poor astronauts are stuck on space. We're going to be watching college football. I don't think they will be. But then I read this the other day. This almost made me want to vomit, but it's going to just give you a little bit of extra appreciation of drinking your water that you have, even if it's out of a fountain hose. Or, I mean, a water hose like we used to drink
I already
as
don't
kids.
like this story. Wherever it's going, it just...
So the astronauts, how do you think they get water to drink?
That's actually a great question, John. I have no earthly idea. Or spacely idea.
They pee in a receptacle
Gross.
that then purifies their urine
Gross.
into clean drinking water.
Gross. Okay, gross.
Guess what went down right
That
now?
purify or whatever.
Dude, would you imagine having to go to drinking straight urine? Now, I saw this on a movie once. Somebody survived, I think, on an island of drinking their own urine. But let me tell you something. I'm not happy.
John, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think these astronauts are going to make it.
Bull, don't say that, bro.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer or
That
anything,
is Debbie Downer. We're talking
like,
football today.
I still don't understand how all of this is possible and how they're just chilling out there. But
No, they ain't just chilling right now. I ain't telling you again. Right now, like their whole like everything, the thrusters are down. I don't know about y'all, but
Can I ask a really,
You know
really
what?
dumb
Right now,
question?
I feel like NASA has turned into the Pac-12.
Can I-
It's dissolving in front of our eyes.
Can I ask a really dumb question
It already dissolved.
that I'm sure the answer is very obvious, but I have been wanting to ask this question ever since you brought this story up, and I just haven't because I think it's a dumb question. Where are they getting food from?
I think they just freeze dry that stuff.
Right, but
Like, because I remember when I was a kid, they
Yeah.
made us eat NASA food one time when we went down to
Right.
Where were we? Down in like Alabama somewhere.
Houston.
Huntsville.
Oh yeah, Huntsville. Yeah. So,
I think.
but here's my question. So they thought they were going up and coming back down
Just
whenever.
8 days, a little 8-day trip.
So there's no way they packed enough food for a year, right? Like, I mean, maybe they did. I'm just curious about that. I have no idea because you would think
Man, let me just tell you.
might run
listen,
out of food eventually.
when they come, you know what? If somebody comes back down, you know how they say that we got all these deep fakes or whatever?
Uh-huh.
They might be like, oh man, that'd be so terrible. Listen, I'm just going to do me real quick little thought and prayer.
Absolutely.
Please, little astronauts, be safe. And hopefully, whatever happens, Boeing has nothing to do with you trying to get down from the International Space Station because they got you stuck up there. Come down safely. Amen. Woo, we
I
got
love
that.
that. Now it's bet.
All right, let's get ready to rock and fire. I got my guns loaded. I've been reading. I've been reading and drinking. I've been drinking and smoking, and I've been reading some more. I've been
As long as
watching.
you're not drinking and driving, John.
No, dog, I haven't. I just started driving a car again like a week ago,
that's right. I
bro.
forgot about
But
that.
let me tell you something. I don't come to work drinking. You don't drink and drive, son. Don't be pulling no Pat
Never.
Mahomes Senior.
No.
By the way, he's doing no time. Another sidebar. Money gets you a lot. We're ready to gamble. I've talked about Miami. Have I talked about? No, I haven't talked about it. I've talked about Colorado a whole lot. But I was going to say, do you know Miami of Ohio is supposed to be the best team in the MAC?
Really? Their coach is a lunatic.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard him?
No.
Oh, you haven't heard their coach?
Like, no, off the top of my head, no, it is not popping in my head at all. You got to help me in on this.
So their coach, I think it was Miami of Ohio. He because this year you can have the microphone in the player's head,
Player's headset.
helmets, and then you can use iPads on the bench. And he went off on him and was like, this isn't real football. I liked it when you had to read defenses and you had to figure everything out. He's like, soon we're just going to have robots as coaches and robots as players and everything's going to be robotic. They're not going to need us. And everyone was like, oh, okay.
I can tell he's not an offensive guy, and I don't know if you've watched Miami of Ohio. They're a very defensive, low-scoring type team. Now, do you know who the quarterback is, though, at Northwestern?
At Northwestern, I couldn't tell you.
Mike Wright.
I do remember
Out of
that now.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Northwestern is only a 3-point favorite, and no, I don't think Northwestern is going to be some great team this year. And while Miami of Ohio is supposed to be the king, the queen, and the court jester of the MAC, I feel like Mike Wright, the way he ran around some SEC defenses when I watched him play at Vandy with no offensive line and no weapons,
He's special at
I
Vandy.
think he can't throw the football,
Well,
but I'm going to tell you what he can do. He can run around like a crazy person, and he's going to bust a few, and this total is only 39.5. They don't think Miami's going to score a lot. They don't think Northwestern's going to score a lot. It's going to be one of those low-scoring games, and I feel like it's going to take a special player with the speed of Mike Wright to pop a couple. I'm kind of leaning pretty good on a little Northwestern action. I don't know, man. Call me crazy. That one kind of stuck out at me because, again, I know a lot of these. We are looking at some, the smaller conferences, the FCSs, the MACs, who are stepping up in competition. First game of the year, a lot of times these teams cover. This is one where I think Northwestern and Mike Wright is just going to be a little too much. Will Miami of Ohio be fine? Absolutely. Now, I also want to talk about some chaos that I think could ensue. I mean, and I'm talking about like real chaos. You are a believer that Miami, Florida could win the ACC, aren't you?
I'm on the fence.
We think Miami could win the MAC. I think Miami loses to Northwestern. We think Miami could win the ACC. But I also think they could lose to Florida. Listen, Florida's a SEC team that I don't think is going to go to a bowl game this year. They have the most difficult schedule that I've ever seen in my entire life. But this is a game that these two teams hate each other. They know each other. This is going to be nasty. This is going to be one of those just rock 'em, sock 'em, beat 'em up type games. And it's the first one with Cam Ward. Do you trust Mario Cristobal? I don't. And I will say, Cam Ward's played a lot of football too, but you know who's played a lot of football? Graham Mertz.
Mm-hmm.
Man's been playing so long that he got 3 seasons in at Wisconsin. Was probably he was a top 6 quarterback last year in the SEC. People don't realize that because you know why I say that? Because he was top 10 in the country in efficiency. Yeah, that Graham Mertz. He also ran the ball very well with Billy Napier. Never even thought he could run. He did. I just have a feeling like we could see something kind of crazy. Follow me for just 1 second. I could see Florida taking down Miami in this very first game.
I like it.
I like it. And then I could also see Miami winning the ACC, losing their first game of the year to a team that's not even going to go to a bowl game. Because I think Florida gets worked on their schedule. And by the way, Miami is ranked 19th in the country and nobody thinks Florida's going to be very good. Why is it the boys in Vegas only have that line at 2.5 and most of the money is on Miami, yet that junt has not moved? Dude, Vegas does one thing that is more impressive than anything on planet Earth.
John,
They back themselves up against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
They spread it open and they take on all comers. They don't care who you are. Bring it. Bring your Brett. Bring your money. They're not afraid. And when I see a ton of money coming in on one side and they're not moving it, I feel like they're saying continue to come on in because they're pulling you into a trap. I like this game. It is at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It is in the Swamp. I think the Swamp is trash if you've ever been into a game there, but it's going to be loud. Mario Cristobal screws things up. I think Napier's boys. I like Florida beating Miami this weekend.
I want nothing more. We did wins and losses for Florida yesterday. I want nothing more.
Did you pick Florida to win or lose?
I'll check. Let's see.
Oh my goodness! You know what I'm worried about you? You say you don't eat no edibles. You don't really do anything that they say is bad for your brain. Yeah, you can't remember who you picked yesterday.
I have Florida beating Miami in the first
Proud
game.
of you, son.
But I would love nothing more than, because in this, I have Florida going 2 and whatever in conference. I would love nothing more for them to win 6 games somehow, go 6-6 and make a bowl, and then every Florida booster sitting there like, oh man, what do we do now with Billy Napier?
If Billy Napier
keep
makes
him?
a freaking bowl game with this team, he keeps his job.
Oh, absolutely. But there's going to
His
be a lot
schedule
of people. There's going to be a lot of people. Because in my scenario, they lose. Where are they? They lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 6 games. If they're on a 5-game losing streak going into the last week of the season, we might got issues, you know? Everyone's going to want him out. Everyone's like, oh, we can't have this against all SEC teams.
By the way, if you didn't know there are those games he's talking about, that is Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State.
Yeah.
Yeah, with games on the road in
Yeah.
Texas
How about that?
and Tallahassee, or in Austin and Tallahassee.
So I would just love nothing more than chaos down in Gainesville.
Yeah, and don't forget, before those 5 games losing streak, before that you have Central Florida with KJ Jefferson and Gus Malzahn together. You have Tennessee with Nico Iamaleava. You have Kentucky. I don't know what they're going to be like before that 5-game stretch. It is absolutely brutal. So I think they get Miami tonight. I'm rooting for them. Let's go Billy Napier. Now, that's one. This is a very SEC-centric. You can't tell I'm drinking the damn Kool-Aid. I feel like Greg Sankey must have snuck in my room last night and shot me up with a little bit of SEC love juice. Gross. Sankey.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? It's because he loves the SEC that much. And I'm feeling it too. And let me tell you a little secret. I love Georgia. So now the ACC's already been slapped in the face because their sweet little Florida State team lost to another ACC team in Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck. I think Miami's going to lose in Gainesville. And then I think Georgia beats Clemson almost as bad as they beat Florida State last year in the bowl game. That final was 63-3. Why do I say that?
I don't know.
Because Dabo Swinney, yes, he was a hell of a coach. Did you know how great of a coach Tom Landry was back in the day?
Oh, absolutely.
Man, the man on the side with the hat, brother. You think that dude could coach a lick in today's football if you just resurrected him and stuck him out there? Hell to the no, because the game has changed. The game has changed. Do you think that Dabo Swinney has adapted to the times? Because I can tell you he has not. And let me explain to you. Before NIL, before the transfer portal, Clemson put more money into their facilities than almost anybody in the country. They have a lazy river. They have a rock that you have a hill to run down. Everybody loves Clemson. Go Tigers, go. If you're a kid and you go over there, they have the nicest facilities you've ever seen in your life. Dabo's down with that. Dabo's down with paying himself fat. Dabo don't like paying kids. Dabo don't recruit nobody. And you're sitting there going, John, you're probably being a little excessive. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you, I'm actually kind of understating it because I saw this stat and almost fell over. Do you know there were only 4 FBS football programs in the entire country that did not add someone from the transfer portal? Do you know who those teams are?
It's the academies,
Army,
and then
Navy,
them,
Air Force,
yeah,
and Clemson.
That's right.
Which one doesn't belong?
Clemson.
Listen, I know Dabo. You're like, oh, you know, I'm a principled man. Well, you know what? Standing on your convictions can do. It can get you killed. I know a man who stood with his convictions and saved us all. Dabo, I don't think that's who you are. You're not saving anything. You're not saving your behind. You're not saving Clemson. In fact, this year, your convictions will come to fruition. Your boat completely sinks. It starts with a 35-point butt whipping from Georgia. Get ready, ACC. It's going to be a long damn year. And then, you know what? It's not going to feel good. The Big Ten, they're going to be like, come on, Lincoln Riley. Come on, Lincoln Riley. You can do it, Lincoln. Lincoln, you can't. And I know that I can sit there and tell you this. LSU in the last 3 seasons, their opener, did you know they've lost?
Wow.
3 straight years, man.
That's right.
3 straight years they've lost their opener. However, this year there's going to be 30,000 crazy Cajuns out in Vegas, drunker than Cooter Brown, been gambling all freaking week, eating alligators, scaring all the guests. And you think anybody from LA is going to be able to go to Vegas and mingle with some Cajuns? There will only be a few LA socialites who love their USC team that'll even probably still be in Vegas by the time this game kicks. It is a Baton Rouge takeover of Sin City, and the ultimate sin is giving Lincoln Riley 10 years. Brian Kelly is going to prove while LSU opens up a stick of dynamite and just blows up that defense that they're trying to put back together, LSU by 21.
Last 4 season openers, John.
Ooh, is it 4 in a row?
It's 4 in a row. Because that 2020 season, they only played SEC because of COVID, and they lost to Mississippi State the
look
first
at
game.
you, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't count that year anyway. I don't give LeBron that 4th championship,
There you
Holmes.
go.
You know how that works with me.
Yeah, oh yeah, then I guess it that one doesn't count. So 3 then.
At least by my standards.
Yeah, by your standards.
That was a damn ridiculous year, wasn't it?
Sure was.
My goodness. But so for right now, if you can't tell, I'm a little excited. I feel the SEC is going to be strong, but I haven't stopped there. I'm going to continue. I've already brought it up. SEC is going to come out of week 1 holding the championship belt, pounding their chest after LSU slaps USC, after Florida brings out the forefathers and slaps the face all over Miami. We're also going to have Texas A&M go out there and do a little slapping of the good old Irish. The independents out there, everybody it seems like from the Democrat and Republican Party are trying to get the independents. Everybody wants the independents, right?
Right.
Well, you know who's going to get the independent? Mike Elko. He's going to go out there and go, I don't know if you know this, son. I know every single one of Riley Leonard's weaknesses. Every one of them. You know how, like I told you, Jalen Hurts is terrible at cover 0?
Mm-hmm.
People know that. Do you know who knows more about the weaknesses of Riley Leonard than anybody else?
He does.
Mike Elko.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the best offensive lineman for Notre Dame is out for the season?
Wow, I actually didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, yeah. When I was talking about their offensive line taking a big blow,
Oh, yeah, I guess
I
so.
wasn't saying like, oh, Dude stumped his damn toe.
Ugh.
I'm talking about their best offensive lineman in mine, and I've been searching my brain by continuing to say the best offensive lineman, if you can't tell, but I can't remember his name to save my life. But he is a guy who will play on Sunday despite the season-ending injury, but Notre Dame won't have him all year long. Aggies, even though they lost Walter Nolan to Ole Miss, did you know that everybody projects them from every service I've looked like to still be a top 5 defensive line in all the country?
Wow.
So you're going to have a full bore, I'm absolutely crazier than all I get out. You're going to have a Texas A&M defense with a little bit weakened offensive line and a coach on the sideline making his first start at home in front of the 12th man. I think Texas A&M gets this game, gets it well. Do I like Marcus Freeman? Yes. But you're walking into a trap. Did Sam Hartman play as well at Notre Dame as he did when he was at Virginia? Or Wake Forest, I mean.
Forest.
Damn, I am smoking some
No.
rocks this morning. I meant Wake Forest. I got the same conference. And
Sure
by the
did.
way, I knew I said it wrong when I said it. Because you saw my face, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Virginia, please. No, but did he play that as well? No, he didn't. I don't think that Riley Leonard is all of a sudden going to also go to Notre Dame and become that second coming. Do I think he's going to be a good quarterback? Yes, I do. But until I just see somebody that, reminds me of Rick Meyer or Joe Montana playing for the Irish, I'm just not going to believe it. Texas A&M large. Damn, it's already time for me to take a break, yo. Let me remind you, it is that time of the year. Tailgating is around the corner. Your ultimate tailgating. It's called the one-stop shop for me. You just go over to Poplar and Highland, and guess what? You go get all your liquor specialties at Buster's Liquor Store right there. And then you go right next door, and you get all your food and your tailgating needs at Buster's Butcher. Yeah, you heard that. They're right next door to each other, too. Buster's Butcher, every single cut counts. Why? Because they cut it right in front of you. Heck, you can call and place an order and say, I need 6 strips, 1.5 inches thick. Give me some fillets, a couple porterhouse. Throw me some sausages out there, some brats. I need some chops, cheeses, charcuterie board. I want some of them side dishes. I need some turnip greens. It's going to be cold. That's good for the winter, you know what I'm saying? Corn souffle. All you have to do is go to Buster's Butcher and Buster's Liquor right there at Poplar and Highland. But don't forget, if you just need a little liquor, there's a second liquor store, Buster's Liquor Store, right there at the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. When you need your tailgating needs met, there's only one place to go. That's Buster's Liquor Store and Buster's Butcher. Isaac Simpson on the other side. We're going to talk a little Memphis Tigers, maybe some Cowboys. We got football today. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and the biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab King's is #1. So don't be disappointed in seafood. Make the right choice the first time and every time. Make it Crab King's. Crab King's have only locally grown catfish. Come and devour tasty snow crabs, king crab, shrimp, salmon, catfish, calamari, and so much more. Enjoy Memphis's best tasting pasta with your choice of toppings. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. Crab King's is open Wednesday through Sunday. Enjoy 50% off lunch portions and dollar fountain drinks. The #1 name in Cajun seafood is Crab King Seafood, a Memphis favorite. Crab King, 7140 Stage Road. Kings with the Z.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right. Over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo price new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
College football's officially back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump in at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games for week 1, and for all the newbies getting into the college spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. The code is HERD, H-E-R-D. That's code HERD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.
Hey, Jason, the main man, Marshall, it's the Volkswagen Sandy Summer Sales Event at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. And, buddy, I need the scoop.
Randy, don't pass this one by, my man. Take your pick, 2024 Taos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport, just $275 a month. And 2024 Atlas Peak Edition, $5,000 off or 0.9% APR for 60 months. And remember, at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, no reasonable offer will be refused.
Remember, it's your choice, 2024 Taos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport, $275 a month. And 2024 Atlas Peak Edition's $5,000 off or 0.9% APR for 60 months. So ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettBWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. You know, today feels like the official start of Labor Day weekend, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because, damn it, we got football. Wall-to-wall football. Believe it or not. I don't know if anybody's really going to be paying attention to this one because who cares about Rutgers and Howard, but they actually start at 5 o'clock. So I think this is kind of one of these days where you go ahead and you take go to your lunch break and you don't come back to work today. You go by, you grab yourself a little bit of Tito's, stop by Buster's Butcher. Yeah, that's right. Buster's Butcher, where every cut counts. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com. Get you some steaks and some cheeses. Go home, do a little cooking, do a little bit of drinking, and watch wall-to-wall football. We got football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And next Thursday, a week from today, NFL is going to be kicking things off. You know what we do at 11:30 on Woo, almost said Friday. I'm getting a little excited, a little ahead of myself. We talked with my good
It
buddy.
is a Thursday that feels like a Friday.
It does feel like a Friday.
Because we're all excited about football, yeah.
Man, and after I watch football, you don't have to do any show prep because I'm just going to watch football, drink Tito's, and eat steak and come back here and tell you all about it tomorrow. But I got to talk to my good buddy Isaac Simpson. Isaac, before we jump crazy all up in some college football, your man CeeDee Lamb finally got paid. Are you feeling a little bit better about your Cowboys today?
Yeah, finally, man. Finally, the Joneses came to their senses, man, and it paid the man. It was crazy because the contract that he got is probably the contract that he was always going to get. We've talked about this so much, man. I don't know why they do that to themselves. But, I mean, he's just second right behind Jefferson's contract. So, got him done. Now he's got to get Dak done. They're kind of talking, said that they're moving forward, that they've had positive conversations. If I'm Dak, though, I'm looking at this situation. I'm probably not signing.
I'm with you, man. I think
at this point, go ahead.
I was going to say, this is where I feel like Dak can sit there and he can go out about his business. I mean, Dak Prescott has made an absolute bag. And for him to have an opportunity, because signing something right now, I don't know how it really helps him. Let's say he has a great regular season and a bad postseason and loses a playoff game. Maybe he just has still that bad taste in his mouth. Well, he could be the first player to go on the market as a complete open free agent as a quarterback, and somebody will pay him a bag, and he might be able to escape. If he has a good year and he wants to remain in Dallas, then he gets to make that decision. I feel like signing a contract, I'm right there with you right now, kind of like let this play out. You've been in the league 8 years. You've made a bag of money. I don't feel like, I I know he's been injured before and it was bad injury, but I'm with you. Play this thing out.
Yeah, I think that you touched on it right there. I think the only risk for him is him getting injured. I think that's only the big risk. But, I mean, he goes out there and has a great year. Like you said, he can get even more than he can get now. And if the Cowboys want him, that's still on the table. So it's just really no advantage. I'm sure his agent is telling him that there's no advantage to them signing a deal now, man. And Jones should have got this done a long time ago. And now this is a situation they're in. If I'm here, man, I'm like, man, I ain't listening to what y'all saying, man. I'm going out here. I'm going to ball out, and we'll see what happens in the offseason. Because him and Brock Purdy is going to be up for a deal, and both of them are going to get north of 60. I don't think there's any question about that. And that goes out there and get a big year, man. You might be talking about 65 plus. So, again, man, no advantage to him, man. Outside of the injury risk, man, I don't think I'm signing right now if I'm him. I'm going to be selfish, man. If they're going to jerk him around the way they have, man, why do them any favors at this point?
I'm right there with you. But, man, listen, man, it's so good. We got football just 1 week away in the National Football League. We've had week 0 come. It's gone. It's week 1. It's starting to feel even more official. Tons of games tonight. But we got Memphis playing this weekend. They're going to actually be at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, of course. They play North Alabama. I don't know. Hold your shorts when you hear this, when they're 39-point favorites. Everybody's thinking everything is just going to be absolutely wonderful. You cover the Memphis Tigers over at TigerSportsReport.com. How you feeling about your Tigers? What do you think you're going to see?
Yeah, man, at 38, 39-point favorite, depending on which book you look at. And what you want to see is, man, you hope they come out and cover that. You hope they come out and look like a team that's expected to represent the G5 in the playoffs. Shouldn't look against a team like North Alabama. I watched a little North Alabama. They lost their first game, week 0, 37-15 to SEMO. And, I mean, they run the ball a lot. They seem to be a team that prefers to run over the pass. Running back Javion Allen had 100 yards in that game. They did turn the ball over 4 times. Their quarterback already passed two picks. They also had 2 fumbles lost. So 4 turnovers, man, against SEMO. You think about what this Memphis defense is going to be able to do. So I think you just want to see them come out and again, man, just cover that 38-point line. And I think feeling good going into week 2 against Troy. And also only put up 15 points against SEMO. So I feel pretty good, man. I think this is a game where Memphis can kind of work through some of the things. Always week 1, you got to be still working through some things, seeing how different guys fit. I mean, they have offensive line is expected to be really good, but you don't really know until you get those guys out in the field. They have some new starters out there. But one thing that you look at this Memphis depth chart, I mean, they are an experienced team. I mean, you look at redshirt junior, redshirt sophomore. I mean, senior, redshirt senior, fifth-year guy. I mean, they don't have anybody under a redshirt junior starting on this team, so they have a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of experience. I just think coming with this opening home game, they have a chance to really come out there. I think they're going to put a lot of points on the board. I think they're going to cover that 38-point line, and I think that's what Tiger fans want to see. Because what you don't want is to leave that game feeling like, okay, they won, but it didn't look dominant. It doesn't necessarily feel like, okay, this is the type of team that we thought coming into the season. So you want to feel good coming out of that game, but I don't think there's going to be any question about that. I think I've talked about this. Seth Hennigan is going to have a huge year for this team. I really think this is going to be a breakout year. I think he's going to solidify himself as a possible late-round NFL draft pick. So I'm just excited about this team, what they're able to do on both sides of the football.
You know, and I'm going to say this, like everybody talks, the sexy thing is to talk about Seth Hennigan and that offense and Rock and everything like that. But again, from a couple of the people who I'm friends with over in the, who work for the University of Memphis, and by the way, they are putting in the work. Haven't seen them in a while. Like they're gone at 3 a.m. and they don't get back till about 9 o'clock at night. It seems like everybody's like putting in that work over at the university. Before they disappeared, all I kept hearing about was how talented the defensive front and the offensive front. It is not just the talent of the starters, but how deep they are. And this is what can actually carry you. And especially after watching Georgia Tech control the trenches against Florida State. When I hear that kind of news and I watch the way Georgia Tech was able to run the football, that gives me even more excitement because I'm looking forward to September 14th when they go down to Tallahassee.
Yeah, man, we talked about that game last week. Like, we both thought Georgia Tech could compete and that game would be close and they probably would cover the plus 10.5. But I never expected Georgia Tech to win that game. Man, I think Mike Norvell might have some issues down there, man. Watching that Florida State team, I wasn't impressed at all. I wasn't impressed with
those linebackers. Couldn't get off blocks at all. That's
no,
the one thing. Derek
Brooks
Brooks definitely wasn't playing for Florida State the other day. That was some bad linebacking play by FSU.
Yeah, I mean, their defense didn't look good. And one thing that they've had, if you go back to their team, you look at their teams before and even going back to Memphis, he's always had a lot of explosive athletes on offense. They don't have those guys aren't explosive at all. That's the one thing that really surprised me. I mean, you look at Roydell Williams and is their running back, man. Those guys just don't look explosive. Zakai Douglas is their wide receiver, Malik Benson. And you just kind of look at the four guys that they use wide receiver and running back. They only have 2 touchdowns combined into their top 4 running backs and wide receivers coming into that game. 2 touchdowns combined coming back from last year. So they lost pretty much everything. I mean, that team is just not the same. I wasn't impressed with their offensive line. I feel really good about Memphis' chances. I think it's going to be tough going into that crowd and you dealing with that atmosphere. I mean, you know that's special down in Tallahassee, man. But if those guys can lock in, that Florida State team, for what I saw against Georgia Tech, I don't fear that team at all. Like, I think Memphis can play with that team easily. I mean, you look at the amount of points they put up, had a hard time scoring. It's just, I think they're in for a battle. I think the one thing that I think that you did lose with that game is I think the surprise factor with them taking that loss. I think they're going to be more locked in and focused. But just talent wise, man, I don't see the big difference between them and Memphis. I mean, you usually worried about the trenches. You talking about their linebackers not being able to get off blocks. I mean, I saw the same thing. I think even on the defensive and offensive lines, I think Memphis can compete with this team in the trenches, and that's usually the difference when you're talking about a G5 team going up against a team in like Florida State. You worry about the trenches. Like, you have guys like wide receivers and running backs that can compete with those guys on the same level, but it's in the trenches that you usually worry about. And going into that game, man, watching what they did against Georgia Tech, I'm not nearly as concerned about that as I was when we talked last week.
You know, the one thing I also do say, and I'm going to have to give it a ton of credit again, one thing that Georgia Tech, that big tight end they had, that 6'5", 260-pound guy who kept just mauling their linebackers, that's one thing I'm kind of curious about. What do we have at tight end this year? I mean, do we have depth? Do we have guys that are going to be pass catchers, or do we have maulers?
Yeah, Angela Lanphier is the guy that started. I mean, both of those guys, Angela Lanphier, Brendan Doyle, is going to be the backup tight end. And I think both of those guys, they're kind of Lanphier can do both. Brandon Doyle is more of that the kind of the bigger guy. He's about 255, 260. So he's the backup, and he's kind of more of that mauler type guy. But Lanphier is a guy that can do both. I mean, this tight end university, man. This team is put some tight ends out there, and I think Anthony Lanphier is going to be one as well. I mean, you kind of saw him kind of break out a little bit last year, and I think he's going to have a huge year. So I definitely think that's going to be an aspect Memphis can deploy against him as well. I just, man, I'm Florida State. I don't think that team's that good. When you look down the line, you want them to win games, because you don't want this to end up being a terrible Florida State team, especially if you go down there and lose, and then they're not very good. So that's kind of the fear that I have at this point. But watching that team, man, I don't think that team's going to be great. This is going to be, I think, a down year for Florida State down there. And again, so that's why at this point, you really don't want to lose that game, because if that team ends up being super disappointing, then that you go down there and lose, that's not going to look as great when you're talking about trying to get in that playoff. So that's going to be interesting to watch play out. I'm definitely interested to see what they do against Boston College this week.
Golly, I am too. And I will say, since we were talking kind of linebackers a little bit, just about Florida State's and how they couldn't get off blocks, especially against that big tight end, I'm kind of, that's another unit about the University of Memphis right now. They need to, come together and gel on defense. But I feel like that linebacking core has got some speed, and they're going to be able to lower the boom.
Yeah, man. Elijah Herring's out there, Matt Hudson, Chandler Martin, who had a big year last year. I mean, this team is just loaded, man, on both sides of the ball. I'm just excited. They just the experience that they have out there. I mean, they've done big work in the transfer portal, getting guys in from the SEC and different schools. I mean, shout out to Silverfield and that staff. Man, they've really built this team, really loaded this team, and they're just in position, I think, to do something special. And this defense, I think, we talk about it so much, like you said at the top, about the offense and the special players there. I think the same thing on defense. I mean, that defensive front, I think, is going to be nasty. Great linebacker core, the size, speed, athleticism. I mean, they just have it all on both sides of the ball. I think Florida State, if they think this is going to be some kind of joke with Memphis coming in there, man, I think they're going to have another thing coming, because I think they're going to come in there, smack them in the mouth. They're going to play really well in order to win this game. I'm sure Mike Norvell's going to try to preach it to him, because he definitely doesn't want to lose to Memphis. That's definitely something I'm sure that he's not interested in, and so he's going to try to talk to him. But again, as I said last week, I think it's still hard mentally if you feel like, we're this big ACC team, we're Florida State, that's Memphis, we're at home, we're just going to come in there. If they come in there with that mindset, man, I think Memphis is going to go in there and come out with a W.
I do too. And again, like we talk about, Herring's got so much speed out of Tennessee. Hudson, they say, is one of the smartest linebackers. We know what we got from Chandler. Like, I'm excited about the linebacking. I'm excited about that defense. And again, the fact that DJ used the quarterback for Florida State, boy, I got some beliefs. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're talking with Isaac Simpson. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Isaac_NBA. Check out the Ethos Grizzlies podcast. Read the TigerSportsReport.com. But we're going to pay a few bills. We got to talk about some tonight's games and what's going on with the Grizz. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback, hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives, and a PF 695 includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Hey, yo, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, locations at Ridgeway and Park Place Center, Poplar Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
We're here with David Cooper, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds. David, we're familiar with iconic brands. Are there designers for engagement rings?
Absolutely. Like every other industry, there are 10 renowned bridal designers who have been leading the industry for years. They're trusted, respected, and exclusive. Every jewelry store wishes to help.
So what makes these designer engagement rings so desirable?
These designers drive a surge of customers to the store, making it the place to be. They attract shoppers who value quality, sophistication, and the ability to express their individuality.
Customers find these engagement rings in other stores?
Absolutely not. Other stores would love to have them, but they have to sell for what they can get, not what they wish to have.
So Genesis is cornering the market.
Certainly. From a world-class exclusive selection from $1,900 complete rings to $250,000 celebrity rings. These bridal designers in the world create these one-of-a-kind rings specifically to showcase
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
The Mitsubishi Final Days of Summer sales event is going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. So come get bang for your buck with 420 total range and 64 combined MPGE in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. We Gossett 34,770 or $299.98 a month. And check out 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett at $27,245 or $349 a month. Plus, you'll never go wrong with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today at 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. That's Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RZO 35297, MSRP 47,470, 36-month, 30,000-mile lease, 4453 due at signing, 1,095 acquisition fee, 25 cents per mile excess wear and tear. Eclipse RZO 65,450, MSRP 28,745, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour brought to you by Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland, where every cut is the right cut. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday in the Mid-South. That means you go by Buster's Liquor Store right there at Poplar and Highland, grab you some Tito's, and you run next door to Buster's Butcher and get you a T-bone steak, baby. It's a little thirsty Thursday. We got football wall to wall now. Isaac Simpson likes to bet. I like to bet. Everybody likes to bet. I'm kind of curious. What you thinking about tonight? We got wall-to-wall action. Is there anything on this full slate of Thursday night football that sticks out to you?
Man, not a lot really sticks out to me betting wise. Not tonight. I'm just excited to have football back.
Man, I know.
I think Colorado, North Dakota State is probably the highlight of the night. I think that's probably the one that people looking to, man. Colorado's only an 11-point favorite in that game. I think I would like to see that get interesting. A lot of people have Colorado on upset watch. I don't think I want to go that far, but I think if you're looking at anything, I think that game you might want to put something there. Maybe North Dakota State to cover the 11, maybe.
I like that, Isaac, because I'm going to tell you right now, the one reason I say that I like that, it is just kind of simple. I mean, this is everything for North Dakota State. Again, they've won 9 of the last 13 FCS championships. They're ranked number 2 in the FCS this year. They always have, they have their little decent quarterback back from last year. Their defense is going to be pretty good. And again, Colorado, they have to also still be looking ahead because I don't know if you know, Nebraska next week with Matt Rule, that's going to be a hell of a game. So I like the 11 points. I think Colorado gets the win as well.
Yeah, I think Colorado ends up winning that. If this game was at North Dakota State, man, I might really have them on the upset watch. I think Colorado wins the game, but I could see North Dakota State covering that because they're going to come in ready. But like you said, this is the Super Bowl. This is big for them. Opening game. I think they're going to come out and play really well. They have a lot of experience coming back on that team, and Colorado probably doesn't look at this as being as big of a game as North Dakota State there because they got Nebraska coming in next week, and we know what type of game that's going to be. So just excited to have football back. Not a lot tonight. You got UNC, Minnesota is a decent game. I think if you're a Tiger fan, Tulane's taking on Southeast Louisiana tonight. You want to do some scouting there. Tulsa's also taking on Northwestern State. Not that I think Tulsa's going to be any threat in the AAC or anything, but those are 2 AAC teams playing tonight. But man, just excited to have football. I mean, you got if you don't have an ESPN Plus subscription, get it, man, because you got that, man. You got all the wall-to-wall football. You get pretty much any game in this day and era. So, man, it's going to be exciting tonight, man. I'm going to be all over the place checking in on all these different games.
Channel surfing at its best tonight, man. I can't wait. One thing I did want to bring up, though, and I wanted to ask your opinion on this before I run out of time. So, Clemson and Georgia played this week. I am looking forward to that. Georgia, I can get right now minus 13.5. I feel like Georgia is going to beat them almost as bad as they beat Florida State last year, 63-3. Now, you say, John, that sounds crazy. I'm not saying they're going to beat them by 60, but hey, 35 is not out of reach because this is what I noticed. Clemson is one of 4 schools that did not get one player out of the transfer portal. The other are Army, Navy, and Air Force. One doesn't belong. But, Clemson did lose 10 players on their team last year to the transfer portal. I know Dabo Swinney, he's not a transfer portal guy. This is where it catches up to you. I mean, is this the year that people realize that, does Dabo, he's got to either adapt and start swimming up, with the current of college football and getting players in the portal, or he's going to sink.
Oh, 100%. He has to adjust that strategy, man, or that, like I said, the ship's going to sink. You can't, in this day and era, with other teams loading up in the transfer portal, you can't just continue to do that. I mean, eventually it's going to catch up to you because when guys rotate out and you're not bringing in these experienced guys out of the portal, man, it's going to catch up with you. And I don't understand, man, a program like Clemson with the way that they can bring in talent, I don't understand why he hasn't been utilizing that. So you talk about the service academies, we understand what's going on there, but they don't, like you said, don't belong on that list at all. And I'm with you, man. I think Georgia covers that easily. So if you want to bet this weekend, I put that down as a lock. I think Georgia wins this game by double digits easy. I don't think there's any question. But, yeah, man, he's going to have to adjust that strategy or Clemson's going to become irrelevant if he keeps on recruiting like that. You have to match what these other teams are doing, man, and it just doesn't make any sense at a program like Clemson that you're not taking advantage of the resources you have.
And then last thing, actually, I said Grizzlies. I meant Tigers. We saw the non-conference schedule be dropped, and holy hell, man, what a year. I mean, you get December 28th, Ole Miss, the 21st, Mississippi State. Earlier in the year, you got the exhibition against Alabama. You got Missouri, the Maui Invitational, UConn. You might play Michigan State or Colorado, North Carolina, Iowa State. It's going to be absolutely awesome. This is one of the best non-conference schedules I've seen in a long time. How excited should we be for a little Memphis Tiger basketball?
Yeah, man, it's absolutely loaded. That's one thing that he did. He did it last year, too, and I think this one is even tougher. I mean, you're taking on defending national champion UConn out there in Maui. I mean, you're going on the road back-to-back at Clemson, at Virginia. They added Ohio, which is a sneaky tough game at home. They're picked to win the MAC this year. So that's a sneaky tough game that they added. That came out yesterday. I knew they had been working on that for a while. Mississippi State, I mean, they have a loaded schedule, so this team is going to be challenged early. Hopefully it goes differently than what we saw last year. They were able to win some of those games early and got in conference and just lost their mind. I don't know what happened, just fell off the map. Hope that's not what happens this year. Hopefully they can win a decent amount of these games and they continue that and use that to build momentum as they go into the conference schedule, because it's definitely loaded. And they could get even more games, like you said, out in Maui. Depends on what happens there. So I'm excited. I think Tiger fans should be excited about this schedule. And I mean, the team, they have talent. We've heard that before. They just have to go out there and produce and be consistent. And that's the key that's been missing kind of in the Penny Hardaway area. There just hasn't been any consistency. There's been too many seasons where a tale of two seasons that we've had. And that's just, you just want more consistency. And you hope this team is not, when you get late in the season and we're always worrying about that bubble, hopefully this is the season that we're not worried about that.
Man, I hope this is the year they just bust through and everybody goes bananas. Isaac, follow him at IsaacW_NBA. What you working on? What can we be looking for? What you got in the lab?
Yeah, man, definitely go over there and eat those Grizzlies. Check us out over there, man. Definitely it's going to be getting more excited, man. We're getting close to training camp and everything like that, and so we're really going to be pumping out a lot of stuff over there. TigerSportsReport.com, and of course my regular Twitter feed at Isaac_NBA.
Be blessed, big homie. Enjoy the football. We'll do it again next week.
Will do, man. Talk to you next week.
That's my buddy, Isaac Simpson. I got another friend coming to join me on the other side of this break. It's the sweet Evie Van Pelt, because it's time to talk some Ole Miss football right here on Sports 56 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Drive like a pro and support a great cause during the sales drive at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, and Landers Ford North in Covington. We've provided over 100 new Fords to be driven by the pros at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Now they're all being sold with demo prices. That's right, over 100 new Fords driven by the pros are being sold with demo pricing below market value. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This is a once-a-year opportunity to trade up and drive like a pro while supporting a great cause. Visit LandersMemphis.com. That's LandersMemphis.com. Or come see us at Landers Ford in Collierville, Landers Ford South in South Haven, or Landers Ford North in Covington. With our Landers Easy Pass, you can get top dollar for your trade-in to help you save even more. Don't miss your chance. Reserve your demo-priced new Ford driven by a pro at the FedEx St. Jude Championship and lock in low APR financing. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and the biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is number one. So don't be disappointed in seafood. Make the right choice the first time and every time. Make it Crab Kings. Crab Kings have only locally grown catfish. Come and devour tasty snow crabs, king crab, shrimp, salmon, catfish, calamari, and so much more. Enjoy Memphis's best tasting pasta with your choice of toppings. Visit the Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road. Crab Kings is open Wednesday through Sunday. Enjoy 50% off lunch portions and dollar fountain drinks. The number one name in Cajun seafood is Crab Kings Seafood, a Memphis favorite. Crab Kings, 7140 Stage Road. Kings with the Z.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Are you looking to save on gas? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the Pike with 41 and Beachy Highway and your new 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to its side. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to its signing. All 24-month lease. Plus, you always get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike or online 24/7 365 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE7 94066, MSRP 21820, EV9 R60 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives, and PF 695 includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah.
That is one of those things. When things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Happy Thursday, and it's a special Thursday, not just because college football, wall-to-wall college football, not just because Ole Miss is kicking things off against Furman this weekend. It's because the great Evie Van Pelt, the sweetest lady on planet Earth, the founder, the publisher of The Rebel Walk, your number one source for all things sports information. My goodness, I'm so glad to have you back. Evie, how's life been treating you, dear?
I am just so happy to be back here. Like, you just don't know what it means to me to hear your voice and hear Bryant's voice, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you for having me.
I'm just so grateful that you're back, too, because I got so worried about you. Me and you've had some rough summers. Woo!
Oh, my gosh. 2024 summer needs to just head on into the rearview mirror, doesn't it?
And it's perfect, though, because the leaves are getting ready to fall. Football's kicking off. And this year, hey, man, summer's behind us. We can now kick things off. And everybody is so excited across the SEC. I mean, you got everybody down in Oxford is talking to me. People here, right here in Memphis, Tennessee, are looking forward to the Tigers. My Tennessee fans are going bananas. Alabama's still believers. Georgia, everything. Like, right now, there's about 8 teams in the SEC that expect to be in the college football playoff. And I don't think there's one. I don't think there's one that kind of really has any more belief than Lane Kiffin's bunch right now down in Oxford. How's everybody feeling about week one?
Man, I think everybody's feeling pretty good about week one. It's kind of like Lane said in the coaches teleconference yesterday, and the players have said this week in interviews. We're just glad we're finally fixing to play somebody other than ourselves. And I think, it's funny. I think Jackson Dart really meant that when he said that, they've been going up against that monster Ole Miss defensive line all camp. And we've heard, I think they're going to be as good as advertised, and just can't wait. Just can't wait.
You talk about that defensive front right there, and that's basically where everything for Ole Miss is coming up on. It's not just, everybody knows Jackson Dart. They know about Trey Harris, and they got Juice, and they got Watkins, and they've got weapons all over the place. Everybody knows it. Cade Priesthorn at the tight end. It's all about the big boys. It's like you have Micah Pettis who's back. It's about, Diego Pounds being able to block that left tackle, Kalepo. And then on the other side, Walter Nolan and Ivy. Are they going to be able to get to the quarterback? And also, J.J. Big East, did he get the Chucky Mullins?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he's going to be wearing the number 38 jersey when he is at home in Hemingway.
As a defensive tackle, I love it.
Yes, and then he will be wearing his number 89 when he's on the road. And he explained that is his daddy's number that he wore, and he had always wanted to wear it. So he said, but I want to represent Chucky at home for myself and all the fans in Chucky. So we'll definitely see number 38 there in the vault this season.
Now, how big of a belief do you have in the big boys?
I got a lot of belief. I got a lot of belief in the big boys, actually, on both sides of the line. And it's funny because yesterday in that teleconference, Lane Kiffin was asked about his O-line because, we're all wanting to see Prince Leon Mielen, and we want to see Walter, and we want to see, JJ and all the gang. But, that offensive line is going to be good. And Kiffin actually said that he feels like he has two veteran O-lines this year. Like we could almost just sub in and out. Now, when a line for another, when do you remember Ole Miss having that? That's kind of a big deal. So, if you've got Diego Pounds over there at left tackle, you've got Kalepo at guard, Gerquan Scott at center, Bulow right guard, Micah Pettis right tackle, and then you've got a whole other group. You got Jaden Williams at left tackle, Eli Acker, Caleb Warren and Reese McIntyre, Jeremy James. That's a lot of big, strong offensive linemen with a ton of experience.
I didn't even realize they've got basically as backups. They got 3 seniors and a junior, don't they? This isn't just a bunch of young bucks. This is people that have SEC experience and started a few games.
It really is. It's like you have backups who were starters. So it's just going to be really, really interesting to see. Again, if I'm Jackson Dart, sure, I am beyond thrilled that I've got Trey Harris and Jordan Watkins and Juice Wells and Caden Lee and Aiden Williams and all the gang. But I'm sitting there looking at that offensive line going, man, we can do some damage here.
Now, speaking of how that offensive line, and we talked about those weapons, and for Lane Kiffin to be able to attack everything, that's also scary because Lane loves to run the football. Thing is, though, we don't have that one guy back. He's now at Ohio State. But Quinshawn was great. But who's going to fill the shoes? Ulysses Bentley the fourth is back there. You got Parrish. Who's going to tote the rock?
Yeah, I think again, I think it's going to be probably, by committee, but I think that definitely Ulysses Bentley is going to be, at the forefront. I would expect him to start out, with the most carries. Now, we've seen guys kind of off and on in the non-contact jersey. I think a lot of that was precautionary, but we've also got Henry Parrish Jr. I'm really excited. He's transferred back into Ole Miss from Miami, where he spent a season. Now another one, boy, keep an eye out on Rashad Amos. He's a big 6'1", 235-pound transfer in from Miami of Ohio, and he has impressed a lot of folks. Also got a Georgia State guy, Dominique Thomas, another big bruiser, 5'9", 210 pounds, so he might be a bowling ball. But yeah, we've got him, and then of course I think at some point, I don't know if it'll be this season or not, but Logan Diggs, the transfer from LSU. But Ole Miss has a lot of options there, experienced running backs, good hands out of the backfield in both Parrish and Bentley. So I just, I think Lane is going to have his full repertoire, including, I think we'll see some, 12 personnel. I've been very impressed with Daquan Wright, that transfer tight end. From
you
Virginia
got
Tech.
Caden Priestcorn and Daquan Wright. Like, he's been playing so well that we're going to do a little 12 personnel and get him on the field too, huh?
Yes. I mean, Priestcorn, I still am in awe of what he did as offensive MVP in the Peach Bowl. And so to throw out the names of all those guys, this offense is just, I can't wait.
So the one thing I can tell you, on paper, they look like they are seriously just ready to rare. I mean, hey, preseason number 6, everybody's feeling it. Number 1 defensive line from the transfer portal. This portal king, everything's good. It's all about meshing. And that's the one thing. A lot of these guys came back. We call it the last dance. Also saw where, you got Jackson Dart, got everybody on his offense, Beats by Dre. Like, this team, though, like, you did bring in some certain pieces, but this team feels like a very tight unit.
It does. And, it's funny because last season they felt that way. So last season, and I may have said this before, I was covering the Tulane game in New Orleans, and Ole Miss had to come from behind to win that game. It was brutally hot, miserable, whatever. Dart just kind of took over in the fourth quarter, and post-game said, this is the kind of game we wouldn't have won last year, and we wouldn't have won it last year because we didn't have the chemistry that we have right now. And so that carried him a lot throughout last season. And this season, Dart has told us as recently as just this past week that they are on a completely different level than they even were last year. That the camaraderie and the chemistry and the closeness that they have with one another is greater than last year even. So to me, again, part of that is you've got so many guys that came back, so many veteran guys. So obviously they've all been there with one another. But I tell you what, the pieces that they brought in, because again, we had the number 1 transfer portal class in the country. So it's not like we don't have new pieces in there. But Golding and Kiffin and all of them have done such a great job. Dart also of identifying the guys whose chemistry, fits together. And they've just done a masterful job, I think.
Do you think the offense looks different now that Lane Kiffin can actually communicate with Jackson Dart in his ear up to 15 seconds?
I don't know that it's going to be a lot different. I think they go so fast anyway, and I think that it's actually interesting. Kiffin told us that, now who knows what's going to happen, and maybe you never know with Lane, but he said actually he's going to let Charlie do the talking.
Charlie Weiss is going to be in his ear?
Yes.
Okay.
Charlie Weiss is going to be in his ear. He said, I don't want to overload him, with too much. And so it looks like it's going to be Charlie. And I think they worked a lot on that. The same with, the defensive player that's going to have the communication. But, again, Lane Kiffin has gone on this.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Evie. I just got excited. That's the only one thing that kind of got me a little bit nervous this year. We're going to be watching games, though, because, what's going to happen? One coach is going to tell the guy to go get in there. They can't have 2 guys that have I'm talking about on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like a lot of people are going to be confused when there's going to be a penalty thrown. How do they make sure that they don't get the 2 dudes with the communications helmet on the field at the same time? Has Pete Golding and them talked about this at all? Because that's kind of the offense I'm not worried about. It's more like the defense communications. These guys are used to be grabbing in. Oh, he gets hurt, just rushed right back in.
Right, and that's my question too. They've been asked. Kiffin's been asked a lot about that. I think they worked a lot on it this fall. Back to the offensive one real quick. I just wanted to say, Kiffin has gone on record saying that them being able to speak with Dart in the helmet communication is a cheat code. So that's going to be fun to watch. But defensively, this is going to be Pete Golding. I don't know if you've talked about this before, but Pete Golding now this season is actually going to be up in the box. He's not going to be down on the field. Yeah, so that's going to be a change for this season. And some of that, I think, may be the communication situations. But that's going to be, I'm going to be watching that. Plus, I'm going to be looking for Pete in the press box.
Oh man! Oh my goodness! Now, how excited? Pete. when he was at Alabama, he had, talent coming out the wazoo. A lot of people honestly didn't give him, I think, the credit he deserved when he was at Bama. Now he comes over here, first year was I thought very impressive. Now, though, I feel like he's got just as much as talent as he had when he was with some of those Alabama teams.
Boy, I feel like the same thing. And, when you got Lane Kiffin talking about how, last year we just didn't look the same as Georgia and Alabama. They just looked like different level, different athletes. And now he wanted Ole Miss to be longer and stronger and bigger. And, if Lane thinks we look like that, which he does, he thinks we look comparable to Alabama and Georgia now with a lot of those, guys at least up front, then I feel like we do too. So if I'm Pete, I'm not feeling any drop off at this point. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going out on a limb saying that here. So, I think Pete's got a lot of tools in his toolbox this year too.
Oh, there's so many tools in the toolbox, and I'm just so excited. I think everybody and their grandmother for Ole Miss is a little bit, just stoked, kind of maybe freaking out. When you look at the schedule, and it always feels like it's this way for Ole Miss, which you kind of like. It's always a little bit easier in the beginning, is it not?
It always is a little bit easier in the beginning, and then,
you get scary.
You always wake up, and then next thing you know, it's nighttime in Baton Rouge, or something.
That's exactly what I was looking at. I feel like it's almost a cakewalk until all of a sudden they get to October, and you have that LSU game, and then you have Oklahoma coming to your house, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi State. So that's when the real life hits in October. But until then, I mean, are you wondering that? I mean, because MTSU and Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, are they going to be kind of vanilla to start the season a little bit? Do you think they're going to show a lot?
Yeah, I don't think that they will, to be honest. I don't think, and I guess why would they? You're right. Furman, let's start out with Furman, and shout out to Furman. I think we played Furman one other time 100 years ago, and they beat us 7-2. So,
Are you
there
serious?
You go. I'm serious. I'm serious. It was 1924, I believe. And, that was kind of crazy. Nobody would have thought about that Furman holds the all-time record over us.
And the fact that it's 100 years ago too, they last played is also just a trip, man.
Yes, the last meeting, 1924 in Greenville, South Carolina. So anyway, that's interesting. But I don't think they're going to show as much. And honestly, I don't know. I would expect to see a whole lot, offensively. I think we'll see a lot probably of Caden Lee and Aiden Williams. It's hard to know, throughout the fall, which I'm sorry for fall camp. I was just kind of missing there on you. But, we didn't see a lot of the starting, I would assume the starting wide receivers, just because they were in the black non-contact jersey. But that being said, I think some of it is Lane Kiffin's strategy. I think he very much goes along with the pro mindset. I think he rests his people. He does an excellent job of, he's not going to be old school out there making you, grind in camp if it's killing you. You know what I mean? So he's I think brilliant when it comes to managing things like that. And so I think some players, maybe we were resting, but, like Juice Wells is coming off of a foot injury that kept him out of his, last season at South Carolina. But I think we'll see some of Juice, players that we did not see during parts of fall camp. I've been told were out there practicing and playing in the mock game last Saturday. So that's a real good one. And one of those is, Princely Imanmielen. We didn't see that mock game.
That buck defensive end or linebacker hybrid player
from Florida. He was just outstanding for Florida, and we heard he played every snap in the mock game this last Saturday. So, just because we didn't see somebody or he was wearing a non-contact jersey, I think Lane is kind of wily, and we haven't seen everything yet, and I don't think that we will against Furman.
All right, one other thing. We've talked about offense. We've talked about defense. What about the Ole Miss special teams?
Well, I mean, I think that we're in really good shape there too. I mean, we got Frazier Mason coming back and punting, and we got Caden Davis coming back kicking, and we're even experienced on our special teams. So, I mean, my gosh, it's just I literally, I've had so many people ask me, have you ever covered an Ole Miss team as talented as this? And I don't think I've covered any team as talented as this, much less Ole Miss. So I just, I'm running out of superlatives to say for them. So, let's hope they live up to it. But I have no doubt that they will. And, we haven't talked about it. He's added Chris Kiffin back to his staff.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he brought his brother over there. I haven't even brought that bad boy up, he's been with the, NFL team after NFL team.
Yeah, there was, I think a couple of years ago we thought he was going to come back and join Lane, but the way things were at the time, I think to be back on staff, the recruiting demands were crazy, but now, I think they've changed some of those analyst roles, and you can still be on field and, but maybe not have to. So I think that's been wonderful. He's moved 2 doors down from Lane. And after Lane's dad passed away, Lane has he even talked about it this week, that how happy his daddy would be to have both of them or watching down and seeing both of his boys together coaching again. So
Golly.
I think just so many things are set up there for Lane and the Rebs this season.
I think Monty wants to look down and watch Chris and Lane get them a natty.
I think he does too. And I read that wonderful article. I don't know if you've read it. Chris Lowe put it out today. It's an interview with Kiffin, and he just talked about how much Kiffin has changed over his 5 years. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, and kind of the place he's in. And at the end of the article, it said, and now Lane's night out on the town.
He's sober, but he's still trolling or something to that effect. I did see that this morning.
That was hilarious. And at the end, he said his night on the town, he was driving off in the golf cart off in the sunset with his little niece Cookie, who, Chris's little one. So, I thought that was really cute. And the one little nugget in there, besides the fact that Landry Kiffin is, everybody needs to continue to be thankful for Landry Kiffin for keeping her daddy in Oxford, but also that it looks like next year Knox will move to Oxford and will play quarterback at Oxford High School. So not this fall, but the next fall. So you and I have been talking about that for a while. So that will get let's get that to happen so we can put away any of those Florida rumors that are always going to pop up.
Man, but I'm telling you, man, one day he's going to end up being the deadgum. He's going to be the mayor of Oxford, the mayor of the SIP.
Yeah, mayor of the SIP. That's right. Party in the SIP, baby.
All right, one more thing. Again, first and foremost, I'm just so glad that you are doing so much better. You sound wonderful. We're so excited that, everybody make sure you go to the Rebel Walk. It is your number one source for all things sports information. Evie's the founder, the publisher. She's got such a great staff that work over there. Her husband's also David Walker, former quarterback for Texas A&M. They do a great job. But I did want to ask you this.
Okay.
Is he a little fired up about this Texas A&M, this squad that he's got? Because, after you play there, you can't help but give him a little bit of love.
Yeah, I think he is really excited about that Notre Dame game.
That's what I was thinking.
This weekend. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. And, man, something we've noticed. It just seemed like during the Jimbo Fisher years, and I don't mean to impugn Jimbo or anyone associated with the program during that time, but it just seemed like there was a lot of talk all the time. Talk. Mike Elko and this squad, they've kept it locked down. I think they've kept their heads down and hadn't been a lot of talking and showboating and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting to see. They may just, they're favored, I guess, right? Still.
They're still favored. I love it. I've already bet Texas A&M, and I keep going back and betting a little bit more. So I'm getting. That's why I had to bring it up. I just want to make sure David still had that same good feeling.
David still has the same good feeling as you. So you're all good, my friend.
Evie Van Pelt, it is so good to have you back. I hope you have. We're going to have a magical season. I feel it, but it's just magical having you back on my program. Be blessed, dear, and thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Really, really just so grateful. Thank you.
Toddy. I'm so stoked. We got a little Furman action. We got great people in this world, and we got bets. But on the other side, we're going to take a small little break because I got some funny stories. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Hey everybody, no matter what new Chevy or pre-owned car you're looking for, our friends at All-Star Chevy have it on the lot or in the showroom in Olive Branch today. It's the All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale. Together, let's drive what we really want to drive. Come on, pick out 2 or 3 to test drive. Look, if you can't find it here, you can't find it anywhere. I'm looking at 20 to 30 new Silverados, marked down as much as 12%. That's going to save you thousands. Every Tahoe you could want for road trips and tailgating, it's here. Law enforcement and all first responders, healthcare, teachers, military, and college students and grads get an extra $500 bonus. I mean, look at these pre-owned Ram trucks and Silverados, Broncos, 4Runner, Audi, Hyundai Palisade. They even have the Corvette Stingray. It's the best week to get the most money on any vehicle you want to sell. Just bring it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch and get a big check today. So let's go. Don't miss the All-Star Chevy's end of summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
All 650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE7 94066, MSRP 21820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39835, EV9 R602 29603, MSRP 61035. Lease terms include all rebates and incentives and a PF 695, includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit, valid through 8/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Hey, yo, Jeff Allen, what's up over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
I know what's down, Randy. Prices at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah. You looking to save? 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. I've got a 2024 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And Randy, talk about saving big bucks. 304 EPA estimate range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find out.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. It is a thirsty Thursday, and dadgummit, boy, we got football, man. I am so excited. It isn't just, like some games that you don't care about. We're, Vols fans, you're going to be watching a little NC State. You know what I'm saying? They playing Western Carolina. Going to see how good they are because Vols, man, they play Chattanooga. Then they play NC State, so everybody's looking at that. We just got wall-to-wall games. Deion Sanders. Like Thursday night with Prime, like everybody's going to be turning that. North Dakota State, they're the Bison, man. They're going to be fighting. I will say one thing. North Dakota State's known for being a physical football team. Colorado was not known for being physical. Shedeur Sanders can throw the ball vertically down the field. They got guys that can catch it. You know about Travis Hunter. You know about Shiloh. You know about Shedeur. But they were not physical on either side of the ball. 127th in defense last year. The offensive line was terrible. Shedeur was getting sacked left and right. I think this is going to be a good one. We got football on. We also just talked with Evie Van Pelt. She mentioned the little running back, my man who played at Miami of Ohio. He is kind of one of the reasons that I also like it. Rashad Amos, he left Miami of Ohio 4 months ago. He was going to be a big part of that number one ranked team out of the MAC. I like Northwestern because I like Mike Reich. I like a whole lot of games tonight. Dacus, do you like anybody tonight?
Yeah. There's a couple games I like.
Dude, you're killing me.
You want me to tell you?
Cough. Yeah, tell me something so I can cough because of this thing in my chest.
Sorry, I'm trying to update podcasts over here. I don't know that you're trying to cough. That's
the live radio show is more important.
Well, it's part of my job as part of the live radio show to get your hours up in a timely manner. I really like Minnesota tonight against North Carolina. Home dog on a weekday. That line's completely flipped. It opened up as Minnesota being a favorite, and now North Carolina, I believe, a 2-point favorite in that game. So I really like Minnesota at home tonight. Eastern Illinois, how about this, John? A 28-point underdog tonight against Illinois. I kind of like Eastern Illinois in this one. They bring back a ton of starters from last year's team. I think 18 total starters from last year's team. They're a team that a lot of people think can compete at the FCS level with the best. So, maybe give them a look. Obviously, their Super Bowl going up against the Illini. So, that one's a late night game, an 8 o'clock game, the second to last game to kick off tonight. So maybe a look there.
Look at that, man. That's my boy Brian Dacus saving me.
How about that?
I just found out Robitussin does not last as long as it used to.
Huh. Interesting.
Because I took Robitussin cough syrup 45 minutes before the show. Have I had a coughing spell until now?
No, not at all. That's why I kind of forgot about your coughing spell.
And I'm telling you, man, of course, right when we come back and I start talking, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So apologize for that. But we are about to have a little bit of fun. And we're always going to have fun because we have football today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Football. But I want to tell you a little bit about Hardwood. Because, one, it just feels so good. But I have to remind you, it's brought to you by our friends over at My Automatic Gate Constructions. That's right. You go to myautomaticgates.com. That's myautomaticgates.com. Find out how they just will turn your unbelievable property into something that's even more beautiful, yet it's going to be a lot more secure. It blends security, aesthetic appeal, functionality. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution from My Automatic Gates Constructions by going to myautomaticgates.com. Let's go to Hardwood.
This is Access Hardwood.
Well, holy hell, you won't believe this, bro. I almost fell over when I saw this. Do you know that Steph Curry, did you see how he cashed in on a little off-season one-year extension?
Yeah, good for him.
He got $62.6 million. Did you see that?
Yep.
Do you know that's for one season?
Yep. That's crazy.
Do you know that that's more than the entire Oakland A's payroll for this season? The entire baseball team for the Oakland A's. Every single player doesn't even come close to it.
That's crazy.
How in the heck? Like, that just blows my mind.
That is wild.
And if you just go like, you know, the guard, just Steph, the last, you know, few years of his earnings, you do his 4-year deal, put it all together, $275 million. Man, the Oakland A's ain't going to pay $275 million worth of payroll for like 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder the A's are moving. When they move, do you think they're going to start spending any money?
I mean, I think they got to get a new owner first. I don't like the ownership they have right now.
Goodness. Yeah, it's kind of simple to say I don't like the ownership. And there's another thing I can tell you. I don't like Livy Dunn's comments yesterday.
Oh, what'd she say?
Not really. Like, I don't really disrespect him, but I do get it. I will say it's kind of funny. So you saw that Paul Skeens, who I said shouldn't be pitching right now, right?
Right.
You saw when he left the game, it was still 10-3. Like, he gave up a run in the first inning.
Yeah.
He gave up 2 hits in that first inning.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't top 100 miles an hour yesterday. Didn't look like he had his A stuff. But guess what? When he left the game, it was 10-3. And guess who was going to get that dub?
He was.
He was. Guess who didn't get that dub?
The Pirates. What a wild game, John.
That is insanity. They came back from 7 dadgum runs. The Pirates lose the game, and guess what Livy Dunn does?
What'd she do?
She tweeted out a picture of her boyfriend looking kind of cute with his mustache, and it just underneath says, "You gotta be freaking kidding me."
Yikes.
Go, Livy. It's your birthday. I mean, hey, man. Like, what can his teammates say? Y'all stunk it up.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a way to blow a game, right?
It sure is. Oh, it was crazy. John, I'll be honest, that game started at 11:30.
Right, we were
talking about, I was up here, I turned it off.
Hold on, do you remember we jokingly were like, man, we should probably bet Paul Skeens today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I think he should be shut down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw it was 10-3,
you're like, oh, man, should have bet
I
it.
said to myself, well, this is why I'm not touching baseball, because I know if I save it and if I actually bet it, they probably would have lost.
Right.
By not betting a win, I'm just waiting for football. When I saw that they lost that game, I almost fell over, because if I would have had the Dead Gum Pirates yesterday and they blew it like that, I'd have been just livid.
Yeah, I got to thank the great people at DraftKings, because I had
2 runs.
The 2 run. You up
dog
2,
it.
you get cash. So I cashed in, but I turned that game off. We're coming back for sports time yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
And you're like, what?
I pull my iPad out, because usually, you know, if there's day games going on, I have them on in the background. Pull it up. I'm like, oh, that game's still going on. It's like 13-10. I'm like, what has happened? And then they scored again. It was like 14-10 or 14-11 to end the game. It was crazy.
Dude, it was crazy. That would be one of painful loss. But yeah, Livy Dunn going in on Paul's teammates is kind of funny.
That's wild.
Now, this is, you know, this was crazy. Did you see how many people? You know, so yesterday, did you know that they gave out Shohei Ohtani bobbleheads?
Yeah.
Did you know that they also gave out a couple that were gold? Did you hear about this?
I didn't know about the gold ones.
Okay, so the whole situation, Shohei Ohtani, it's a very, very big day in Los Angeles. I mean, I didn't realize how big it was until I got home. And, like, every major news outlet is showing, like, a helicopter view of, like, people waiting outside 7 hours before the damn game, standing in line to get a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead. Well, guess what? I now know why I would wait 7 hours if I knew I was going to get $1,000. They've already been auctioning these suckers off online for over $1,000. People actually, I'm sorry, it says here, the ones who got the golden ones arrived 8 to 9 hours early.
Crazy. So the gold ones went first, and then
the golden ones went first, yes.
Interesting.
I mean, there were 40,000 bobbleheads handed out and 1,000 that were golden. So the first 1,000 people, they had to get it there. But man, this is insanity to me. Like, is he Yeah, I love Shohei Ohtani, but have you watched what Aaron Judge is doing? If they did a bobblehead in New York with Aaron Judge, do you think New Yorkers are going to show up 8 hours early?
Probably not.
Nah, man, they're just going to buy them off the damn auction
Yeah.
for the idiots that are out there hanging. Dude, that's wild. But you know what's crazy is Shohei Ohtani, there is a family member that's a better pitcher than he is. Did you know this?
Huh.
You didn't know this, did you?
I didn't, no.
Like, he's a pretty good pitcher, right?
Yeah.
He had, 193 strikeouts last year, sub-3 ERA. I can't remember his win-loss total, but he was, top 30 pitcher in baseball
Sure.
last year. Well, I don't know if you knew. Did you see he threw out the first pitch yesterday?
Oh, his dog.
Dude, that was a perfect first pitch. I'm sorry, that was
It
perfect.
was.
Dude, his dog. Like, where the hell? His dog is even great.
Very well trained
you mean
dog, yeah.
You're great. Your dog's great. Your dog's very well trained. I bet you taught your dog not to steal from you. Why didn't you teach your interpreter?
Oh, man.
And by the way, have you seen his new interpreter? All I can think is every time he's talking, man, how many fingers you got in his pocket?
You gotta watch your back after what happened, dude.
And again, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. If I'm Shohei, I just come clean. All right, I don't need an interpreter. I just don't like answering those questions because everybody says he speaks better English than me, which is not all that hard. Do you think you could understand Memphis talk, though? Do you think you would need an interpreter? Like, would you have to be a person from Memphis who spoke Japanese? Do Japanese people speak Japanese? I know that Mandarin is what they speak in China.
Yeah, I'm not well versed on different languages. John, speaking of Memphis, did you see the video that's going viral right now of the British folk eating ribs?
With his fork and a knife, and that guy came over there and taught him.
That was in Memphis.
I know. I saw that actually. I didn't know that it had gone viral. I just thought because I love ribs so much and my phone knows me so well. It's either naked women or ribs or sports.
It went extremely viral yesterday, and yeah,
I'm proud of that, man.
Couple British guys in town trying some barbecue. They're trying to cut it with their knife and fork. He's like, "Whoa, do not do that.
Use
Rip
your
it,
hams, bro.
Pick it up, eat it." And yeah, it was great. And they, if you watch the full video, they were mind blown at how good the barbecue was.
Man,
Little Q.
You know what's making me now? You got me thinking about some Central Barbecue.
Little Q, John.
You know what? I need to take a quick time out though. You know, sometimes I can do a little Q. Sometimes I get really excited about Q because I love some Q. But you know what else I love sometimes?
What's that?
Like today, sometimes I just want a margarita. Some days like this, I just want to go sit down and have a nice margarita that starts at $3.99. Guess what? I know the spot. Los Cabos. They're all over the place. I dig the one at Summer and Graham. They have lunch specials from $7 to $10.99. You heard me that right. That's every single day lunch specials. They're till 3 o'clock, bro. Their happy hours 3 to 8. Man, head on over to Los Cabos. If you love sports, if you love great Mexican food, if you want the authentic flavors of Mexico to melt in your mouth while you watch some football and enjoy life, it's Los Cabos, right there near Summer and Graham. On the other side, I will reiterate to you the games that I said that I am betting on tonight. If you missed them from earlier in the show, grab your pen and paper and get ready because we're making some money on the other side. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. You know, I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
we're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Are you ready to make this the summer event rock and Ronnie? Because the place to buy is Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out on the pike.
I'm ready, Randy. Check this out. A 2024 Jeep Compass Sport, 4-wheel drive, $27,090 or $398 a month.
2024 Jeep Compass Sport 4x4, $27,090 or $398 a month.
Or take your pick, a 2023 Dodge Challenger RT or a 2024 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Tracer, 2-wheel drive, $38,990 or $579 a month.
Rock and Ronnie says drive past the rest and come to the Nasdaq. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram out on the pike. Or shop us anytime online at GossettMotorCars.net.
At 7.99, Ram and Challenger 5,000 down, Jeep 4,000 down, Challenger PH 574221, MSRP 52,315, Jeep RT 173869, MSRP 28,090, 0% for 36 months. Grand Cherokee and Wrangler price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial, so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way, anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
They can't get that Central Barbecue location on Central back open soon enough.
It's still going to be a little while. They do things right at Central Barbecue. That's why every location is so unique.
I know, but there's a lot of different Central Barbecue locations, but I miss the OG, the Central Barbecue on Central.
You know, it's going to be completely different.
Well, not completely.
Yeah, when the Central Barbecue location on Central reopens, it'll be bigger, nicer, more streamlined.
But still on Central.
That's about the only thing. For the time being, until they tell us different, you can't go wrong with any of the Central Barbecue locations.
You know, I think we've broken a record for saying Central Barbecue the most times in a Central Barbecue commercial.
Family Leisure is having the world's biggest spa setting. It's happening right now. You can save thousands on in-stock hot tubs that are ready to be delivered. Family Leisure has spas that start at just $28.99. You know those cold plunges? You can get one for yourself starting at $39.99. Or how about swim spas? They start at $17,499. Plus, Family Leisure has set up special financing just for this event. Have you been sitting on the fence about an above-ground pool? Get off that fence and get to Family Leisure to take advantage of huge discounts on all their in-stock above-ground pools. And if you need some patio furniture, it's all priced to move out now. It's not too late to have some summer fun, courtesy of Family Leisure. But you better hurry up. The world's biggest spa set might go on forever. Family Leisure. With and run at I-40. Family and fun come together.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy, Johnny Radio. Happy Thirsty Thursday. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know I am. I'm here to make you some money so you can buy your girl some clothes because, man, when you got a little extra coin in your pocket, isn't it nice to take your girl shopping? The ladies' boutique I always take Chaz to, 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. It's called Frontier Western Store. I can shop there, too, because they have a men's section. Heck, my kids and my grandkids can shop there. They have a children's department. But I always take my girl to the ladies' boutique, man. They got a huge boot selection. She loves shoes. She loves hats. She loves skirts and dresses. You got to go down to Oxford looking fly, don't you? Go to Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road down on Olive Branch, and if you can't make it there, you can shop online at frontierwesternstore.com. Now, we're going to make some bets. I will have to say, though, the one thing I just had an epiphany of. Why don't they make Tussin the way they used to when I grew up? It used to be chunky. It had these chunks, man. Like, it worked. It was so good.
Make it like that anymore. That sounds disgusting.
Dude.
Chunky?
Yeah,
Ugh.
dude, they'd have these little white pills chunked up in them. I think they were like codeine they put it in. I really do. I don't know. Man, you could break your arm and rub a little Tussin on it, and that sucker would feel better. Tussin today, man, I can't even make it through the show without coughing. It's just, hey, man, you know what? It's just weaker Tussin. Weak Tussin. Now, this is not weak. These are our bets, and we are about to win a lot of money. I'm still all over North Dakota State's playing Colorado, 7 o'clock on ESPN Central Time. Of course, it's in Boulder. Everybody's going to be crazy. Everybody's going to be excited, but let's not forget, North Dakota State is pretty damn tough. Travis Hunter is going to be great. Shedeur Sanders is going to be great. I don't know about the offensive lineman. I don't know about the defensive lineman. I do know that Colorado gave up more sacks than you could shake a stick. They averaged 4.67 sacks given up a game. North Dakota State had one of the top front sevens in the country, and almost everybody and their grandmother is returning. I think Shedeur is going to be on the run. I think everybody's going to be able to score truthfully. I kind of lean towards the over, but I love me. North Dakota State right now, you can get plus 10.5. Other games that I like, if you like to do parlays, I already told you, you better get on Georgia minus the 13.5. Clemson and Dabo Swinney, he doesn't go and refill the well. He doesn't use transfers or transfer portals. I don't know why he doesn't, but he doesn't. And we are going to take him. And then last but not least, make that a 3-team parlay and throw Texas A&M on the money line. They will beat Notre Dame. For Brian Dacus, I'm John Harden. Get out there and make the world a better place. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed.